got to taste and spit.
Got to ration them out.
Right? So this one rack...
I know what you're thinking, Emma. Shame on you.
I'm tasting and spitting.
What are you talking?
Hawk. Tui.
That's the first thing I heard in my head after he said that.
Welcome to Cue the Mic. I'm Darren Worth.
And I'm the beautiful Randy Twyford.
Beautiful, he says.
Yeah. I got a glow about me today.
He's got a glow about him.
Yeah. Okay. Which is pretty easy for me. I have several people say that a lot of people think it's just a halo, but it's just a glow. Halo.
Devilish fire.
Yeah, that's about the fucking truth.
Oh, and I'm Emma Derflinger. Just for anyone who cares about that.
And if Emma's mouth sounds dry, it's because she's been chewing on damn crackers for a half hour here. We've been trying to start this thing, and she's been munching on Ritz or on Club crackers in the background. Emma, are you done eating lunch yet? She just woke up about 20 seconds ago.
Why'd you have to call me out like that?
She's 5 minutes late because punctuality is
I was not 5 minutes late, first of all. And also, I wasn't chewing on the crackers for 30 minutes. It was like 3. And you guys were doing your thing, so I was just minding my own business.
Minutes.
Seemed like a long time.
You guys were just talking away. It's not like we were doing anything.
Oh. Well, let's just keep talking.
Well, okay. I think we need to regain our conversation on, you said you've got a new apparatus. And from Yeti.
Word for you, Randy.
Oh, yeah, we were talking. So, I went to the...
That is a big word.
Barbecue. I was at a barbecue contest this weekend, which we'll get into. But so, we ordered, I was jealous, Jeff from Shiggin' and Grinnin', which he's, by the way, never listened to the podcast. And we're sitting around the campfire on, must have been Thursday night, Friday night. I don't know, one of those nights. Anyway, it must have been Thursday night because it was too goddamn hot on Friday night to have a campfire. But anyway, we're sitting around the campfire and they were talking about the podcast. And he goes, I never listened to it. And the guy's like, everybody around the campfire says, you really should listen to it because Darren just talks shit about you all the time on the podcast. And I said, I really do.
Yeah, he's probably
I talk about your ass all the time. He goes, oh, nothing ever surprised me. So anyway, but he surprised me. So he's a Yeti sponsored team, so he gets discounts on Yeti stuff. So I wanted one of these Yeti boxes to keep my barbecue rubs in. And because I'm always hauling around in some restaurant tote type thing. And Sherry wanted some new Yeti cups, different colors. So he got this, put it in this Yeti order. And when I got there, he surprised me with one of these new Yeti French presses. And I was like flabbergasted. I mean, I've never had a French press. I've seen a lot. I've always, I'm a big coffee guy. So, and it was like really, really nice. So I'm researching this French press and I saw, it had some downgrades to it, but I couldn't wait to try it on Saturday morning, except for I didn't have any damn coffee in the trailer. But I was able to get some coffee from the neighbors and took it on its first run on Saturday morning and had a really nice cup of coffee. And so anyway, Jeff hands me the bill and says, here's the amount. And he just hands me, as a matter of fact, I got it right here. It says from Yeti. And he tells me, hey, I owe $457 for my Yeti order with no detail, right? And so I said, did you buy that for me? And he goes, I don't know. He says, you probably ended up buying it. He says, Cindy just added the total up. So I gave it to you. I ordered it for you, but you probably ended up buying it. So it's really probably not a gift. I just thought of you.
Nice.
That's just the way it works. But
yeah.
Anyway, I was pretty impressed. Insulated. I mean, it was nice. It was a very nice, thoughtful gift.
Well,
not really a gift since I bought it, but it was a thought. It was a thought that counts.
thoughtful process.
Yeah, thought of him thinking about me.
And then that brought up
every,
the conversation of who invented coffee. And
yeah.
And if it was cold coffee, because I'm drinking a can of cold brew coffee, and who invented coffee? And I said it was the Colombians in South America, and back in ancient days, they they ground their own coffee beans and used fire to cook it, to boil it and make coffee.
Yeah, because Emma thought maybe my Yeti, the downfall where this started was the one design flaw was this Yeti press. When you press it, they don't have the little flip on the top of the Yeti lid like most Yetis have now to close it to keep the coffee warm. And she's like, well, a lot of people use French presses to make their cold brew. And I'm like, yeah, but it was designed for hot coffee. Well, what if it was designed for cold brew? I'm like, well, coffee was designed to be hot. It's just all these bougie bullshit that's doing all this cold brew stuff.
Right.
It was designed to be hot, which got into the whole Colombian thing and whatever. And Randy has done months and months and really seconds. He's done no research at all. He's so full of shit. And of course, Emma's right now. I can see Emma. She's out on Google. She's out on AI trying to figure out who invented coffee.
Who invented coffee, Emma?
If cold brew was invented first before hot brew, which you know the answer to that.
Yeah. It was supposed to be hot.
It was supposed to be hot.
Mm-hmm. And it says that the exact origins of coffee are unknown.
So my story's right.
No. There's one popular legend that an Ethiopian goat herder noticed his goats were energetic after eating berries from a tree. Those berries being coffee beans.
That sounds like a good story to do.
He tried the
wasn't there something with cocaine the same way?
And felt alert? I don't know.
There was something about cocaine started by somebody in the jungle chewing on cocaine leaves and getting all jacked up. And that's why...
Didn't Captain Ron used to have them... Didn't have that coffee that the goats had eaten and pooped it out, and they had that coffee. Didn't Captain Ron used to have that coffee that they?
I think he did. He had quite the array of coffees.
He had concoction. Yeah, was it the goats or the monkeys? Somebody eaten the beans and pooped them out, and then they washed them out and ground them and dried them and whatever. It was this really top shelf stuff.
No.
Well, so then it says that the monks. It says that he took them to the monks and they threw them into a fire and then realized their mistake and instead steeped them into hot water. Steeped the berries in hot water, which they found themselves to stay awake during prayers.
Keyword, hot water.
Yeah. I said.
Randy's right
coffee
again.
Was developed
just off one country.
into a hot drink in the 11th century.
I was just off one country.
I was just throwing out an idea.
Because Ethiopia is pretty close to Colombia.
We do know. No. We just never know with you two.
I know. I thought it was a very interesting comment to start.
There you go. There's some
So how was your weekend, Randy? You were off at a frat party or what?
Yeah. The fraternity I was in, Alpha Gamma Rho, the Ag fraternity, at SIU Carbondale, Southern Illinois University. Home of the Suck Lucky.
The Suck Luckies, yep.
Suck Luckies. An Egyptian dog, thank you, that was used to track down and kill like wild animals. It would because of its speed.
Is this true, or are you just trying to bullshit me again?
This is true. They're an ancient Egyptian dog, because down in Southern Illinois it's called Little Egypt. Because it goes back to stuff. I don't know about it. But anyway, but that's the truth about the Salukis. So that's why, for the mascot. And they have Saluki dogs at the football games and and stuff like that. They've got some mascots that they bring to games. But anyway, there was no mascots at this. We went to, we had our summer reunion, and I hosted it last year, but other than that, I hadn't been to it. And I am really glad I went. There were some guys I had not seen in 40 years.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it was kind of funny.
It's a long time.
Is, one guy that was there is like, well, what do you do now? It's kind of when we first got there, there's like 4 of us got together and went downtown to the bars to kind of reminisce, going through the old bars and stuff. And it's like, well, what do you do now? And he goes, well, I'm retired. I'm like, what are you retired from? He goes, state police and FBI. And he was retired from state police and then put another 10 years in with the FBI terrorism task force in Chicago.
Whoa.
So, which was interesting, And then another guy sells landscaping supplies out of Dallas. And then another guy's retired from AT&T as a technician. And then now he was retired for about 6 months and about went crazy. And now he works for Infinity, one of the cable companies, and does all their major troubleshooting throughout the state of Illinois. So it's kind of interesting, talking with everybody. And so we had kind of a social on Friday night. And then on Saturday, we went, had our meeting and such. And then went on tours of an apple orchard, Rindleman Apple Orchard, which is a big deal down south of Carbondale, south of Murfreesboro, actually. And then we went to, it's called Heishman's. It was a bourbon tasting place, a bourbon bar. And it was an old grist mill that they'd converted over. And down in southern Illinois, there's a big wine tour. And so it kind of falls in with a wine tour and everything. And they're going to start distilling. They're getting all their licensing and stuff for that. So it was a nice time. Like I said, there was 4 guys there that we were sitting and eating supper last night, and we realized we hadn't seen each other for 40 years since I graduated.
So what's a fraternity? You had a meeting.
Yeah.
So what's some frat boys do at a meeting?
Well, there are some things we own a house.
Was there unfinished business?
Yeah.
Were there like did you discuss like the sore whores that you didn't sleep with, or what?
Jesus, why?
All the above. The above. I took Marla with me. Okay. She went with me. And
was she a sore whore in college?
No,
Why?
she was long gone by then. I mean, we were in different parts by then because, this guy, he's like, they were going around, and one guy's like, well, I've been married 32 years. I've been married 38 years. And I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with me? Because we're just coming up on 30. But then we got married late in life.
Yeah.
I had lots of oats to sow. So, but yeah, there was some unfinished business. We've got a house down there that we're trying to, it's kind of got out of control, and they're trying to get reined back in and things like that. But
a frat house got out of control. Who would have thought?
What do you mean by that?
It's a frat
You're
house.
Stereotyping things. That's very stereotypical, and that's not.
Well, yeah. Every frat house I've ever been to looks out of control. Not that I've been to like a bunch, but
he was talking about foundation repair and like siding and.
It was trashed out, and so they kicked some ass and that, and so it's back in order. So very nice weekend. Like I said, seeing some people. We were sitting around at supper last night, and we had the sign of we're all getting old because we were going around kind of telling all of our ailments. It's like, okay, I've had cornea transplants and heart ablation, and the one guy goes, well, I had a fucking heart attack 7 years ago, and he's in his pocket, and he pulled out a bottle, and he goes, I don't go anywhere without these. They're nitroglycerin pills. He goes, if I hadn't had these with me, I'd have died. And the other guy is like, well, I chopped off all my fingers on the 4 of my fingers in a belt on a tractor, on a feed grinder, and had to have them put back in. They reattached his fingers and the bones. And then he couldn't figure out how he was going to plant beans that spring. So, he said, I got this club on my arm, where they've got everything taped in. And he goes, I found a spot in the palm of it that I could put on the hydraulic lever, and I could just move the hydraulic lever back and forth, as needed. And I got beans planted. Well, he said, I got beans about 3/4 planted, and I started feeling something funny in my fingers. And he goes, that I hadn't felt before. I went to the doctor, and all the steel rods had worked their way out of it because I'd been running the hydraulics with the palm of my hand. So they had to redo surgery. And he goes, the doctor was really pissed. And he goes, they just give me a local. And he said, now I want you to watch what I'm doing so you don't fuck it up again. Kevin's like, I didn't fuck it up again. He goes, when you sit there and watch them beat on your fingers and stuff, you can't feel it. But he said, it's pretty squeamish just watching it. So.
Ew, I'd hate that.
And so that we kind of all agreed is a sign we're getting older, but
yeah,
and we are. So you're only as old as you feel. Numbers is only a number. It's not a reality.
I think today I feel 92.
So what was your weekend?
I'm up there.
Today I feel 92. Well, so we've working on this restaurant 24/7, it seems like, and the flooring guy was going to be in there all weekend long, so nobody else could be in there. So I said, screw it. Last minute, I'm going to go cook a barbecue contest up in Emmitsburg.
All right.
So I took off Thursday afternoon to go to Emmitsburg, and Sherry was staying home and working, so I flew stag no drag and took the motor home, hooked onto the new barbecue trailer for its third voyage, and headed up to Emmitsburg. And I pull into Emmitsburg. I don't know, it must have been about 5:30. And of course I pull in there and I'm looking for my start. I'm on the street, and all of a sudden you like to hear what everybody does. The guy stopped me and said, hey, what are you dragging? I'm like, you always love to hear that.
Yeah.
So I put on the brake and get underneath, and I look, and I'm the straps to my water tank I'm dragging. So what, somebody fly by there, Randy, or what?
Yeah, they did. It's like, who the fuck's going by here so fast?
Who's coming down Twyford Road so fast?
Yeah.
So anyway on the way over, I busted a strap to the water tank, an empty water tank, mind you. Yeah, well, but it busted the strap enough that the water tank fell down and ripped 3 holes in the empty water tank.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yep. So was able to, get parked. So we were able to get duct tape enough so I could back it into my spot, or pull into my spot, and get everything leveled up. And, so then Friday morning I had the pleasure of getting underneath there and disconnecting everything. So we ended up just ripping out the entire water tank, or the waste tank, and it was the waste tank.
Yeah.
Ripped out the entire waste tank. And so I did the old Randy Twyford. I straight piped her. So anytime I washed dishes, it just went straight on the ground, straight below the trailer.
It ain't going to hurt anything. It rains.
It rains. So
no difference.
I did that. So we had we just sat around the campfire and saw some old friends came in town, and, just kind of hung out. And then competition day, I set the alarm for 4:30 or 4:45, even though I always get up before my alarm. And I tossed and turned, and I wasn't sleeping worth a shit. And for some reason at 2:00 in the morning, I fell asleep, and I went to sleep hard. And by God, at 5:30 in the morning, somebody's knocking on my door, wondering, are you going to get up? I'm like, what in the hell is somebody knocking on my door? And hell, I look up, pull up my phone, and there's missed calls and everybody, and I'm supposed to be up at 4:30, and it's 5:30, and I'm an hour late. I'm like, what the hell? I overslept by an hour. and the alarm's going off, but I evidently had turned down the volume on the phone. I was sleeping good. And I about said, screw it, I'm going back to bed for another hour. I'm sleeping good. But
Just
anyway,
turbocharge it.
I get up and I walk out and I'm going, did you guys at least light my barbecue pit? And they're going, yeah, well, we just lit it. I'm like, okay.
Had you got all drunked up?
No, I didn't have a single drink all weekend.
Okay.
So anyway, I just been, it's been a rough, this general construction management stuff is tough on your sleep.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I go out and I start to light and I'm like, boy, I'm going to be behind here, but no problem. I'll figure it out. And so anyway, I remember old Trent from Brohica. He had this big flamethrower, that they lit the fire. And I said, hey, Trent, where's that flamethrower at? It was right over here. I said, hey, bring that bitch over here. So we turned on the propane. I threw that flamethrower at that pit and that charcoal, and we put it on there for about 5 minutes. And within 20 minutes, I had that pit up to 300 degrees.
Fantastic.
That's pretty impressive.
So by 6 o'clock, my brisket went on just like it normally went, and I'm off to the races.
So how'd you do?
And I'm back on time. So anyway, well, I won, Randy.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Duh.
Because that's what you do.
You don't go there for.
I didn't go there to get a haircut.
Yeah, that's it. I couldn't remember what the saying was.
I didn't go there to get a haircut, and it was not without, as Randy would say, it was not without diversity.
Oh my God.
Right.
Or adversity. We had a couple mishaps along the way besides the water tank. So, that morning I had brined my chicken the day before, and normally I get up in the morning and I inject my chicken, and I was still half asleep. And after this brisket, I got up at 8:30. I went, I'm like, well, I'm going to season my chicken. So I get the chicken out and I'm like, what's this bottle sitting next to my chicken? Oh, that's the chicken injection. You're supposed to inject at 6:30 in the morning.
Oh, boy.
Well, I guess I'm not going to inject my chicken today, so I guess I'll just season my chicken. So I just seasoned it. So with not injecting it, I'm like, well, I better not take my finish temperature as high. So I thought, well, I better only take it to about 200 degrees versus pushing it. Otherwise, I'm going to dry the shit out. So
now, why is that?
Well, because if you inject it, put a lot of phosphates in it, then you can kind of push it up higher. It'll stay juicier.
Okay.
But with only brining it, I was worried about drying it out. So I only took it up to about 200. I knew only brining it, I better just kind of take it easy on the chicken.
Right.
So I was trying to balance tenderness and not drying it out. So
And normally what do you take it to?
I don't know, 205, 206, wherever.
Okay.
Usually it's wherever I can get the shit done.
Okay.
To tell you the truth, I've had trouble getting it done. And so, of course, in normal Darren self, I'm sitting around in the chair and forgetting to do shit. It was just one of those days that, I'm like I'm like, oh shit, I probably should season my ribs. I probably should have done that a half hour ago. Oh, well. And then it's like, oh crap, I should wrap my ribs. I should have wrapped them 5 minutes ago. And then somebody'd walk up and we start talking, and I got the ribs out of the pit sitting on a pan, and then they got 10 minutes late. And, oh shit, I should have put my chicken on 15 minutes ago. Oh shit.
God damn.
It was just all day long. It was just nothing but me fucking up the time.
Lots of diversity.
I was just fucking up the timeline all day long. But I'm like, I just kept telling myself, you know what? It's just barbecue. Who cares? I don't write down a timeline, so I really don't have a timeline. So It doesn't really matter, right?
Right.
And then I decided, I'm like, you know what? I always finished my chicken on a can. I really wanted to do that, but Sherry refuses to let me bring a drum because she doesn't want me to put it inside the new trailer, because as soon as I do that, I'll start banging up the cabinets.
Right.
Right? So she won't let me bring it. So I yelled over to old T-Rex and I said, hey, you done with any of your drums? He was cooking on all 4 drums. I said, you done with any of your drums yet? And he goes, yeah, my pork one will be done here in a little bit. And I said, hey, I want to keep that fire going. I want to borrow that. So as soon as he got done cooking his pork, old Joe went over and grabbed the pork drum for me and brought it over. And of course, we went over and we opened it up. It's almost out of charcoal and it's a fucking mess. And I was bitching at him like, really? This is a shitty ass can. So pretty soon he knew I was bitching. So he grabbed a fire basket out of another can and grabs it over and swaps me out. And we put some more charcoal in it. And it was a shit show for a while. But we got, ribs took an hour longer and the brisket took a half hour longer and everything was but by God, we got her done. And at the end, we got 5th place in chicken, which I haven't had a chicken call forever.
Right.
Got 1st place in ribs, so that was good.
Ooh.
Good.
Pork, which has been scoring pretty hard, didn't score. And then brisket's just been kind of hitting that 5th through 10th place. I got 9th in brisket. So that was fine, even though I lost my brisket bet to Hogline, which I've lost like the last 6th or 7th places to that little bastard. I'm going to quit betting that short little Norwegian bastard from Minnesota, but it's fine. Like Sherry said last night, I said, I lost that $1 to Hogline again. She goes, Darren, you won $2,300. He only won like 25. I said, okay, I feel better now.
Yeah, there you go.
So
you won the contest. You won the contest.
I won the contest. Yeah, I won the contest.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Nice.
2 out of 3. 2 out of 3. I wish I would have waited a week and won a contest because, this kind of didn't really matter anything because I'm all qualified for the Jack, and this was the last weekend of the Jack draws. So, old Mike Janey from When Pigs Die out of Nebraska, he got reserve, and he really needed to win because there's no team from Nebraska that's won. So if he could have won, he would have been an automatic into the Jack. And I said, Mike, why didn't you tell me that? I would have fucked up something.
When is the cutoff date for the Jack?
This was the last weekend.
Oh, this was the last weekend for it. Wow.
Yeah.
I guess it is.
When is the Jack again?
August.
I don't know. Sometime. I don't know. I think it's in October, middle of October. Yeah, October 14th, 15th. I don't know.
That sounds about right.
But
I have a question. Based off previous or old episodes, you've made comments about when you want to be peaking. Do you feel like you're peaking at a good time because you've been winning
somebody said
a lot lately?
Old Fred Robles said that to me yesterday in a Facebook post when I posted last night. He says, you're peaking too early. And I said, yeah, buddy, don't worry. I'm going to take the next 6 weeks off and let her cool back down. Yeah, you don't want to peak. You don't want to peak this time of year. You want to get started up. So I'm going to. Normally, this is a little early for me to be winning contest. I usually don't like to start this shit until September.
Right.
So I'm not sure why I'm cooking halfway decent now. So don't worry. I'm going to take about Murfreesboro. I think is probably my next contest.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I may sneak a week before there. I think end of September.
Yeah, the second to the last week in September.
I may sneak. Just depends on what's happening with this breakfast restaurant. It's, it's a shit show. I mean, you should
come down. You should come down to Illinois. They're having a contest. You compete at 3 different contests or 4 different contests, and the top points in like chicken and ribs. The Illinois Soybean Association is sponsoring a kind of a winner's cup money and stuff.
Yeah, I don't have a lot. I hardly got time to take a shower in the morning, Randy.
Okay, just a thought. Since you're going to Murfreesboro,
here's how the construction world was going this weekend. It's 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes before I'm getting ready to turn in my chicken. I pick up my phone. I don't have my hearing aids in because it's too damn hot out. The air conditioner's broke for the second time in the new barbecue trailer. It's 99 degrees in the trailer, right? So I got my hearing aids. So I got my hearing aids out, right? Oh no,
with the air conditioning.
Oh God.
Was the air conditioner working in the camper in the RV though?
It was working in the RV, but no barbecues allowed in the RV.
Well, right. I know that, but
at least a breather.
Air conditioner was broken there, wasn't it?
No. It never broke in there.
It was always been the trailer.
Oh, okay.
Always in the trailer. It's been broke twice in the trailer.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're trying to warranty that right now. So I told the guy, I said, from the factory, don't worry. He's all worried. He's like, boy, man, I don't know how we're going to deal with this. We're going to be upside down on the cost on this thing. And I told him, I said, hey, I'm the customer that bought the brand new trailer that's going to cook for the second time in 90-degree heat. I probably wouldn't worry about your damn cost of your air conditioner.
Yeah.
I would worry about your customer that's going to fucking trash talk your ass.
Yeah.
And his response was?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
We're going to be upside down on it. Well, build a good fucking product.
Oh, Jesus. What a shoddy piece of, For a company called Rock Solid, not very solid.
Really?
I can't. Okay.
Where are they out of?
Out of Georgia.
Out of Georgia?
What do you mean you don't want to diss them? If you building dog shit, you ought to deserve to be called dog shit.
I don't know. I just...
And this
feels mean.
No.
Mean? No, what was mean was them not building the trailer that he paid good money for. That's mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway. Yeah. Where were we before we started ditching them?
You didn't have air conditioning. It was 90 degrees.
And you didn't wear your hearing aids.
Oh,
you
yeah.
weren't wearing your hearing aids.
So I pick up my phone. I pick up my phone to see what time it was because I'm outside. I don't have a clock outside. Pick up my phone, and here's a missed phone call from the flooring contractor. Right?
Oh boy.
Who promised me that he was only going to be in the restaurant for 5 days.
What day was he on?
Well, we're on day 21. Okay. Maybe even 22 now. But anyway, so there's a missed call. And then I see a text from him saying, hey, my dad's in grinding floors. He left to get a tool. Come back to this. And here's a video of a broken water pipe spewing water up and hitting the ceiling and flooding this restaurant. I'm like, okay, this is great. And then I get a text saying he's got the water shut off. I'm like, okay, fine. So I'm trying to sauce my chicken, and I'm on the phone with Sherry saying, hey, there's a busted water pipe. I think it's around the Coke machine they just installed. Can you just go check it out? Just go grab a squeegee, go check it out. I'm trying to turn in chicken. I don't have time to talk about it. Just go figure it out, and I'll talk to you after turn-ins. And she goes, okay, I'm on it. Okay, fine. Thanks, hon. Love you. Bye. So anyway, she goes, and when they installed the Coke machine on Thursday morning, I was with them. They didn't get one of their clamps tight enough on the carbonator. Speaking of, not Carbondale, carbonator. And it blew the carbonator off, and it was throwing pressurized water and hitting the ceiling. And luckily it happened during the day because that son of a bitch would have fucking ran water all night long. Luckily he had just went up the road to get a part and came back.
Holy
and
Toledo.
it was hitting the ceiling. Luckily it was far enough away because he would have been hitting the electrical box that was wide open because they're still doing all the electrical work and the whole new internet modem and all that shit that they just installed. But anyway, Sherry says water was going everywhere. Luckily, there was a new floor drain we had installed, and she squeegeed it all to there, and it was just a mess and whatever. So I went, and she goes, but I don't know why you didn't unplug it. So she unplugged the carbonator, said, just leave it all unplugged, leave the water, I'll deal with it on Monday, whatever. So she got her all under control. Sherry,
good.
my assistant general contractor, Sherry, she took care of business. She took care of business while I was out screwing around getting away from that job.
Yeah.
So that was fun. So yeah, we're playing and everybody keeps asking me. I'm just, hey, when's this place going to get open? And of course, 3 more weeks. 3 more. Well, that's what you told me last week. Yep, 3 more weeks. And I'm not lying. It's still 3 more weeks. And I may start answering 4 more weeks now because I was hoping this week to put all the fixtures and getting equipment going in Monday. And we're still another week before floor's done, I think. And
oh, boy.
Oh, God.
I won't even get started.
We had somebody comment that said they're going to get a shirt that said it opens in 3 more weeks. Yeah.
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 3 more weeks. Yeah. Yeah. So we got another week of that. But we did get the roofing. The roofing guy got in and put new roof on the walk-in cooler, so we're ready to get that thing almost
Good.
operational. I got about 2 hours worth of work on the inside sealing that, and we're ready to throw the compressor on the top of that and get that electrical hooked up. And
Good deal.
It's exciting.
yeah, so we're just 3 more weeks,
Maybe 4.
maybe 4, before we get
Sometime in August. Maybe. Oh, no, I guess now it's September.
maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Oh,
Coming soon-ish.
frustrating. That's why I said coming soonish, right? We were going to open the middle of July, so
JK, LOL.
yeah, is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
Is what it is. At least we're not. At least these jobs they're doing now are already, they're bid jobs, not by the hours. So I guess.
Well, that's good.
We're just losing time, not losing money.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
No,
I guess.
not really, because you want the time too. So.
Well.
Yeah,
but at least you're not losing both.
Yeah. No shit.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I mean, we're ready to start. I think we're damn near ready to break ground on the new London kitchen.
Oh, okay.
And I'm almost thinking that I'm going to guess which one's going to get done first.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
Of course, that one's already over budget. That's a whole other story. We haven't even started that one yet.
Your kitchen gun shop potential bar.
Bar. No.
Ain't gonna be a bar.
Well, so you won this weekend. And I think that was good. That sets us up for today's topic. That took us almost 40 minutes to get to, but that's okay. We love talking. We had a comment the other day from, let me just shout him out because that's the polite thing to do. We had a comment from, where did I send that to you guys? Daddy Dutch Barbecue on YouTube.
Okay.
And he suggested that we talk about barbecue pet peeves, superstitions, and rituals. So, in honor of D-Dub winning this weekend, what are some of the things that you guys, do every competition, or I don't know.
Well,
Randy, do you guys? Let's start with pet peeves.
Yeah, let's.
Randy, do you got any pet peeves?
Yeah, when somebody walks in on you and doesn't know how to knock on the fucking door.
Yeah.
Just in life, or
well, in life, but at a barbecue contest, you're focused on trying to get something done, and then you just have somebody whoa open the door. That is polite.
Well, that happened to me this weekend.
Oh no!
Right. So this weekend, I'm sitting in. I'm actually So Friday afternoon, I got all my meat prepped, right? Mm-hmm. And I went back to the motorhome and I'm checking emails. I got my computer out. I'm checking emails. And I'm just trying to catch up on some work stuff and I've got like an hour before the cook's meeting. And somehow I just dozed off.
Yeah.
I mean, I was sitting, and I'm not a napper like that, but I've been running pretty hard and I dozed off. And I've got the mouse in my hand and I'm in the recliner and I'm dozed off. And I am dead asleep. And here comes that fucking Jeff from Shiggin' and Grinnin'. No knocky, no nothing. Just opens the fucking RV door. What are you doing? And just woke me up, just startled the shit out of me. I looked and I said, well, I was working. He goes, you were fucking napping. I'm like, yeah, most people, if they're in their muckador. I said, you just took a 2.5 hour nap. I didn't bother you. Right. I didn't knock on your door. If you're in your motorhome, why would I come bother you? I mean, I could have bugged the shit out of you and knocked on your door and whatever, but I knew you were napping. Maybe if I very rarely do I go in my motorhome during the middle of the day. If I'm in there, would you assume that I'm either napping or working? Why? What's your purpose? I just want to see what you're doing. Okay.
Well, and along with that is the nap deal. It seemed like when we were cooking, you'd get it in the Friday afternoon. It's like a lull. It's like, I'm going to try to get me in like a half-hour nap, something like that. Or on Saturday morning, you got a little time. I'm going to get me a little half-hour power nap in. Well, that's about when somebody would come over knocking on the door or just open up the door. And the other thing is you'd be on the phone with somebody trying to conduct some business, and somebody open up the door. What the fuck you doing in there? And here you are trying to conduct some business. So, yeah. But the biggest thing is people just walking in on your trailer, and then, which goes back to the shiggin, is people trying to snoop around and figure out what kind of rubs and sauces you're using, and instead of just saying, could you tell, I'm curious, what are you using? And you don't have to tell them everything.
Yeah, I think,
and you get that
one of my
all the time.
Well, hell, this weekend, Jeff, and I'm so used to it with him. So he comes over to me partway through Saturday. He goes, hey, I need some rubs. I'm like, what do you mean? Because we use a lot of the same rubs. And he goes, well, I just need a little rub because I don't want to open these new shakers because I'm not gonna cook for 5 or 6 weeks now. So I just need a little bit of rub. So I know you've got some. So I want to use yours, right? And then he comes back and goes, hey, I need just about this much honey, right? I just need this much honey. And I'm like, I only had this much. And he goes, do you have enough? And I said, well, I think so. Can you just take like this much? Well, he takes more than he's supposed to. And I'm like, hey, wait, you took more than you know to. I said, oh, don't worry, Jeff. You make sure you have enough, and then I'll go borrow some from somebody else.
Right.
So then here comes Hogline. He goes, hey, I hear you probably need some honey. Yep, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll take your honey because Jeff borrowed all mine.
There you go.
But every week he comes over and borrows my rubs, which is fine. I'm just so used to it.
I was going to say, are we bashing Jeff because he doesn't listen to our podcast?
No, we'd bash him no matter what.
Okay, I'm just...
By God, until he starts listening.
I just feel like we are.
And then we're gonna bash him harder.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
And then the other thing that's probably one of my biggest pet peeves in barbecue is sore losers.
Being red ass.
I think that's just in life.
Just in life, but just people. I always tell people that when they start to win or whatever, when you win, what's more important than learning how to win is learning how to lose.
Yep.
Right? Because it's a lot more important. So people that start winning, and then they start losing, I can't believe I didn't win. But whatever. Just learning how to lose is a lot more important, because if you're going to lose and pout and blame the judges and all that other shit.
Because there's plenty of people you can blame except yourself.
You could blame, except for like yesterday. That's why we had on Friday afternoon, we had a long conversation with the reps, because the reps, we had 28 teams. The book says 28 teams is 4 tables. Right. And I said, and they're like, they were going to run 5. I'm like, you are not going to run 5 tables. You're going to run 4 tables because they're like, why? And I said, because 4 tables is the fairest contest you can have. You never have a bad table. Well, what do you mean? I said, because everybody during 4 tables, everybody hits the same table, no matter what. Nobody will ever bitch about a bad table in a 4-team contest because everybody is going to hit that table. If you hit 5 tables, there's going to be 1 table that's going to be bad, and whoever doesn't hit that bad table is probably going to win that contest.
I see.
Somebody that hits that bad table is going to get drugged down, and everybody's going to blame hitting the bad table. But if you have 4 tables, everybody is going to hit every one of those tables, and nobody can bitch about it. So yesterday, even after that, they were going, man, did you just check out that table? Man, that was a really, really bad table. They scored everybody down. I said, yeah, I know. I got 5th and chicken on that table. And they're like, oh.
Yeah.
But I hit the same table, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense.
That's interesting.
Superstitions.
Yeah.
Well, going along to pick
I'm
up one of the notes
superstitious.
I had, picking up on what you said about being a good loser, learning to lose, is the people. I always felt like when people would start saying, I had a killer cook, man, everything was it top shelf or top of the line, or I forget what was Scotty's comment he used to always have. Uh, when he'd have a good cook, every cook was really good, and there was some comment he
Yeah,
used to
I'm trying to
use.
think what it was.
But 8 times out of 10, when you start talking about how good a cook is, you're going to get your ass handed to you.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
don't brag on your cook until you get your scores.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Wait, Darren does that.
What?
I feel like you were like, oh, I think those are whenever you actually decide to try your food that you never eat, but you tend to try it all the time, just based off observation. It's just a thing I feel like I catch you saying a lot. Um,
To
I feel like you're always like,
himself. But I mean,
well, yeah,
I'm
but
talking
isn't
guys.
that
I'm talking about guys that they get done with a cook and they're like, man, I killed it. I the best cook I ever have done in my whole life. I'm gonna fucking kill it. Everything, my chicken, and just getting plumb orgasmic about it, and then they end up getting their asses handed to them, and then they're all red ass and like, oh, them motherfucking judges, the table of death, and everything. It's like, well, maybe you didn't cook good enough,
You know what my line is all the time now? I got asked 10 times yesterday. You know what my line is?
What?
It was good enough to win and good enough to lose.
Yeah, I've heard you say that 1,000 times.
It was good enough to
1,000
win and
times.
good enough to lose. I answered the thing. And I tell you what, just back to that. Yesterday, my ribs, and I never taste my food, right?
Right.
I never taste my food.
okay? I
I
would like
taste
to
my.
point out. I would
Okay,
like
so
to point out that you say that every single episode. Every single episode, you say, "I never taste my food," and then you proceed to tell us
I mean, how I taste my food.
almost everything. And I was like, That's a shirt we should make.
I taste my piece. I taste the one piece, one bite of chicken after I turn it in, and so. But yesterday, I'm like, I had this rib, and I'm feeling all these. I had 4 racks of ribs, and I'm feeling all these ribs, and they all feel the same. I'm like, son of a bitch, what am I gonna do here? I'm like, I'm gonna have to taste these some bitches. Sherry's not here. So I'm tasting and spitting, because you don't want. Well, you don't want the calories. That's a lot of fucking calories. I only get 1,400 calories a day, Emma. You got to taste and spit.
Got to ration them out.
Right? So this one rack.
I know what you're thinking, Emma. Shame on you.
I'm tasting and spitting.
What are you talking?
Hawk. Tui.
That's the first thing I heard in my head after he said that.
So I'm tasting and spitting, right? And I get to this one rack of ribs, and I'm going, holy fuck, that is like, it's like, and I don't have good taste buds, right? And I'm going, holy shit, that's got a lot of flavor to it. And I set it back down, I spit whatever. And I'm going, that can't be that good. So I went to the other end of the rack of ribs, and I go through them then, and I taste and spit. I get to that rack of ribs, and I'm like, holy shit. Well, now I've taken 2 bones off of there.
Right.
And I'm like, and I ate one of the bones that I probably could have turned in.
Right.
And I'm like, now I got 5 bones. I'm like, well, son of a bitch. And then I look, and I've got this little 2-bone end that I left together. I'm like, well, that's still pretty thick. So I cut one of them end bones off, and I turned in 5, and I turned that end bone in. Got first place ribs with it.
There you go. Maybe you should start tasting your food.
Taste and
spit.
Taste and spit. Hawk tui.
Hawk tui.
I could get a little political, but I'm not going to, so.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We're at...
Did you see that? You see that?
Yeah.
You see that one meme?
Yeah.
I sent that one to you.
Yeah, that's right. That's where that
amazing.
came. Do we want to save the rest of our list for the next time? Because we're at 50 minutes already.
I mean,
Do you have
You got
that
a
big a
hot date?
list?
Huh?
We don't have that big a list. Let's push on.
Okay.
yeah, it can be a longer episode.
Did you have to poop, Randy, or what?
No.
Okay, good.
I could fart, but I won't do that. I've been chastised so
before.
much on that. Thank you.
Okay.
Superstitions.
Well, one of them, the first thing I wrote down was me wearing a red shirt and overalls.
Hell
That's-
yeah.
That's where that got started. Was we won a few, did real good at some contests wearing overalls and red shirt, and it just snowballed and just
It's a look.
it was a look. So that started from a superstition.
Mine was
And now it's your
always
staple.
mine was always the Lucky Twyford hat. Randy, I
Yep.
still have that Twyford hat, but I always had the Lucky Twyford hat. Now, it became, because every world championship I've ever won, I either had the Twyford hat on my head or I had it attached to my belt loop. So every time, if you look at every world championship I have, you can look, I've got it attached to either my belt or on my head.
That's pretty cool.
And it
Yeah.
started getting
My
a
brother
little,
has a Lucky Twyford hat too.
it started getting a little tight on my head. So I kind of put it about my belt loop, but by God, now that son of a bitch will fit
She'll
again.
work. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Old hats are starting to fit again.
Woohoo!
Then
What do you look at me like that for, Emma?
I like what? I said woohoo.
the other thing is at rewards.
What?
What? I said woohoo. I was that's exciting. 'Cause you're...
Oh.
Oh, and the other thing is at rewards, when we'd go to rewards, that I always had to sit to the left of you.
Yeah. Randy always sits on my left.
No matter, I mean, there may be somebody sitting there and we both politely say, you're going to have to move.
Yeah, because
And
Randy
if they go,
sits on my
oh, no, Darren, just tell, get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, Randy sits on my left.
Yeah. So,
You guys have quite the little bromance. You know that?
Yeah, we don't do that at Chim anymore because these
Randy doesn't come to competitions.
superstitions and whatever. I
don't
mean, like
come to-
Sherry used to have barbecue thongs. She always had Smoking Clones thongs that she wore and custom made and shim kitty thongs and all kinds of stuff. She used to be into all that stuff. And we used to have a bunch of stuff. I mean, we used to, like, when we go to the Sam's Club contest, I mean, I always had to eat at Five Guys on Friday at lunch.
Really?
Yeah. And it always worked.
When did you stop? Do you think like when
you've been in this game long enough, you know,
Yeah,
you kind of learn that stuff that you kind of quit doing it and you become lazy and just.
Have you been successful at any of those competitions since you stopped?
Well, the Sam's Club is no longer there, and you know, you make a good point. Maybe I should get back out the Twyford hat and start doing some of that shit again.
Another thing
got some
that started
competitions
as a
coming up,
good
you can
luck
do
shot was when we would do the good 9/11 good luck shot.
Yeah.
No, the 922.
Yeah, I was gonna say
922. That's right. I forgot 922.
That was the ritual. That's not a superstition. That's a ritual.
A ritual. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's amazing. So
What's the difference?
Okay, so let's go back many moons ago.
Okay.
Okay, from the originator of the 922 shot,
Right.
me.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So
Right. Because
years and years ago, 2003, 2004,
yeah,
old Phil, and we maybe talked about this before.
we
but
have. I think it was
Phil
Randy's
Hopkins-
first episode.
Phil Hopkins at Smoking Guns always had, and him and Phil Morrow and whatever, they had an 11 o'clock shot. And so when we were the youngsters back then, we always started doing an 8 o'clock shot to get ready for the 11 o'clock shot. And then we decided, hey, we're always busy at 8 because you put your ribs on at 8, and 11 o'clock you're dealing with chicken and you're taking your ribs off. We were just too busy. So that's why we came up with the the 922 shot because nobody's doing shit at 922. That was the whole reasoning behind that.
Mm-hmm.
That nobody does shit. You do stuff on the 15-minute increments. Nobody's doing shit at 922. That's where 922 come from. Well, then people after 9/11, people come up with the 9/11 shot that really came out of Arizona. I think Smitty from Luton Booty, I think, and then also Tom Glenn and the guys out there came up with the 707 Lucky Beer. And then Gilly always did a 10 o'clock Lucky Beer.
Right.
So where you open a beer. And we don't even do a 922 shot anymore.
Right.
We do a 10 o'clock Lucky Beer, even though this weekend they did a 922 shot. I wasn't there. I did a 10 o'clock Lucky Beer, which kind of threw me I didn't have my chicken on. I was supposed to be doing my ribs and that kind of threw me off, but I still got my 10 o'clock Lucky Beer, even though I didn't have any beer because I don't drink beer. So I went over to the neighbors, stole a beer, took one drink out of it, Modelo. It tasted like shit, and I handed it to somebody else and said, here, drink this. And then I learned of a 7-Eleven shotgun beer.
Oh, my God.
So Joe Osbrink and Wags and all those guys, now they do a 7-Eleven shotgun beer in the morning to get their day started.
That's
and
the way
so
to do
everybody has all these crazy rituals that they do, or these good luck. And the fact of the matter is, does it mean a shitting thing? No. But it's just a big excuse to drink.
But maybe it does.
It's fun.
Well, evidently the 10 o'clock Lucky Beer, because I always do that.
See? Superstition.
Yeah. Barbecue people are the most superstitious people there are on earth, I think.
Have you ever met my mother?
Yes.
She's about as superstitious as it gets.
She is. What's her superstition?
Well, it was always whenever any of us were in sports. It was a lot, which I appreciated. When we would be at like state tournament games, there was one for JJ. I think 1 year I couldn't even like sit by them because I hadn't sat by them at like another game or something like that. It just gets intense. State title games get intense. But I can't think of a good one off the top of my head. But yeah, she was superstitious.
I'm going down my list. We pretty well covered most of them in superstitions and.
Well, good thing we didn't say. Good thing we didn't wait for another whole episode to list off those two more things.
You and one got a good playlist.
And then
what about your playlist?
Oh yeah, the play. I couldn't read Marla's right. Having a playlist for Saturday mornings. Remember Bruce Ring had that one playlist that it was religiously started at something like 7:30 in the morning and went all through turn in. And it was all the same songs, and he played it every week at a contest.
Yeah, Luke Darnell does that. I know Lucky, Justin, and Kate, they did that. They started at a certain time. So when all of a sudden they heard a song and they knew it was time to do this and time to wrap pork and time to do this. And, you know how I avoid all that? I never even turn on the radio. So
right, you've never had music playing.
Darren doesn't listen to music.
I don't listen to music.
He doesn't like it.
I always had it playing.
He would rather sit with his own thoughts.
I always had it rocking out.
Exactly right. I got plenty of them.
Yeah, you do. I'm like you, Randy. I always got to have music on.
Yeah.
I don't know how you concentrate.
Well, I don't. Until I want to really get serious about it, then I turn the music off.
I need it to concentrate.
Not me. It distracts me too much.
I just don't get that. I just don't understand how.
I could tell you, but that'd be a whole thing, I'm sure.
And kind of the last one on here, it's not a superstition, or a ritual, but it's if somebody asks you for some help, give them some help because there may be the day you need some help.
Yeah, that's a good rule for life too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, especially in barbecue, that's one thing that I've found about myself. Once I find a secret that works, I just can't wait to tell somebody else.
Right.
Like I was telling Luke Darnell,
So it's not really a secret.
Brisket. It's not anymore. So Luke Darnell, we were talking about a little secret that I had years and years ago, and he was struggling a little bit with brisket, and I said, "Oh, you ought to try this." He goes, "Do you do that?" And I said, "No, I quit doing it." He goes, "Why?" And I said, "I don't know. Evidently, I got lazy." And so he's like, "I'm going to try it." So he tested it at home. He goes, "Holy shit." I said, "By God, I think I'll do that this week too." So I went and got the ingredients to do that little secret. And I did it this week. And by God, I was out there doing it. And Jeff was watching me. He goes, "Are you doing what I think you're doing?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Hey, you got some left there?" I said, and I said, "Yeah, hang on a second." So I got done and I had about this much left in a cup. And I got ready. I'm pretending like I'm handing it to him. And I threw it over my fucking shoulder on the ground. I said, "Oh, fuck, spilled it. Sorry."
God damn. I could just see you doing that.
Oh, God.
Fuck, spilled it.
Oh, fuck. Didn't do any good anyway.
Yeah.
But.
Oh, well.
Well. Yeah. You guys got anything else?
Exciting week. Anything exciting this week? I'm going to do some construction management. We're going to keep Amanda's hot testing on in the bakery section. She turned out some jam and focaccia.
Okay.
Worked on the. I never tasted it because I didn't.
Calories.
I didn't want to spit in front of her, but cinnamon rolls. Cinnamon rolls weren't done when I left, but evidently they were pretty good. So she's testing the cinnamon rolls and the jam and focaccia, and chorizo was a big hit. My homemade chorizo, my third or fourth rendition of chorizo. Took it to the Hispanic girls in the kitchen. I haven't heard back from your mom if she liked it or not, but
well, we got some lamb in, so I'm going to try.
Oh, did you?
I'm going to cook some lamb this week.
Did you get some lamb from that one place?
No, it's from a different place, but I got the place that I'm going to get it from. I got to get that ordered because I got to give them 10 days. It takes 10 days to get it.
What was the name of that purveyor, by the way, Randy?
Superior Farms.
Superior Farms.
And I got the sausage that we used up, the neighbor, Meat Mitch next door, used. And I got that sausage in from Wichita Packing Company. It's a cheddar hot link. It's really good. Got cheddar cheese in it, chunks of cheddar cheese in it.
Where's it from?
Wichita Packing, Andrew Bloom.
But they make it, or they?
Yeah, they make it. It's not a McCaskey. They make it there. I met the guy that makes them.
Huh.
He made them. Matter of fact, somebody else made it, and he came in there and threw it all out because they ground the cheddar cheese up. And he goes, "This is not the way to make it." And threw it away, and made some for me last month on Monday, and I went up there Tuesday and picked it up.
Yeah, so we're hot on pancake mixes right now. We're trying to make made from scratch pancakes because I refuse to buy shit out of a box.
Right.
So we're working on pancake mixes. Evidently, your mom had a recipe that she found online, and that was a dud. Left a film and taste in people's mouths, evidently. So I gave them great grandma's recipe, so we're going to see what happens. So we want we're looking for easy to prep, but still we want it to be great and fluffy and homemade and whatever. So
right on.
We're getting some time while the flooring guy's taking his sweet ass time. We might as well be testing some recipes.
Getting all that stuff ready to go so
yeah,
you
why
can
not?
be ready to go.
Yep, right.
So
3 more weeks.
3 more weeks. Ish.
Maybe.
Ish.
Probably 4. Could be more.
Can't wait for the coffee
Won't
testing.
be less.
Once I get a coffee pot set up, we can get into the coffee testing.
There you go. Wish
Yeah,
I was
have
there for
iced
that.
coffee.
I'd help you out on that.
Huh? Iced coffee? Yeah, I'll give you
yeah.
a cup of ice if you want iced coffee.
No, hot coffee. I like hot coffee.
As he drinks a cold brew.
As you're drinking a cold brew?
Yeah, because it's midday and I want to stay cool for the rest of the day. I don't want to elevate my body temperature.
Hot coffee.
You're elevating your body temperature too much.
Hydration is the key.
Well, and I agree with you.
Keep my house at a chilly, 68 degrees, and Twilight is ill, so I'm making sure it's nice and cold here for her.
What'd you do? Feed her some bad dog food or what?
I wish it was that easy. No. I'm not really sure what happened. We are just fighting a bug, and it's taking the living life out of both of us. So.
Did you feed her rice?
Yeah, we did that Thursday. No, Friday, and we will be doing that again today. I wasn't really home a whole lot yesterday, so she stayed with Lane for most of the days. So I didn't make him give her any bougie food. But yeah, we're gonna do chicken and rice today, and hopefully she eats. She's got a bit of a stomach bug, so need her to eat some food.
She ate a rabbit or something outside, or what?
No.
Skanky rabbit?
I don't know what happened. I don't know. She's had stuff like this happen before, so she just gets into something. Who knows? But hoping I'm not up every hour tonight, because that's how the last 3 nights have been, and it's not fun.
Got a case of the Kamala.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I hear you.
What?
Hot to it.
Jesus. We're not talking about that stuff.
Not
That's
anymore.
not what we do.
Not anymore.
Okay.
And we really weren't. We were just kind of in passing. It just kind of like a rabbit going by.
It slipped.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway.
All right, we got anything else?
Yeah. Nope, I don't think so. We need to be done. That is episode 68.
68. Ooh.
68.
You know what 68 is, Randy?
Yes, I do.
You do me, I'll owe you one.
Right? Because the next one.
What?
Huh?
68.
68.
68, you don't get that?
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
68. When you have 68 at home.
Oh, we're on episode 67.
Well, next week is 68. You do me, I owe you one.
There you go.
Right?
Because what's the next week? What's the next week?
I have one job. So I'm just choosing to ignore you, maybe.
Oh. All right.
Yeah, it's 67.
You're so funny.
God.
Haven't told you that forever. Haven't told you that forever.
Okay, well, that was episode 67 at Cue the Mic. If you haven't, follow us on social media at Cue the Mic Pod, or find us on YouTube at Cue the Mic Podcast. Randy, take it away.
I'm glad we waited till the end to piss off Emma.
Boom. Done. Finished.
Boom.
Out of
See
here.
ya.
And one more thing. I think we're going to have some new listeners, because from down at the fraternity thing, I was telling some of the guys that I had to get home to broadcast the podcast. So they're going to start dialing in. So thank you for tuning in, all the fraternity brothers.
Alpha Gamma Rho.
There you go. Boom. Done. Out of there. Finished. Adios.
See you guys next week.
Bye.